Good evening. Tonight we are going to be talking about rubbish. You're listening to The Spotlight, and I'm not. Ladies, gentlemen, please take your seats. The Spotlight is about to begin. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mystery Matt, and you're listening to the Mystery Matt Spotlight Podcast. This evening, we've got something of a more serious note, and I'm going to throw it over to Sarah to explain and to introduce.
Good evening, listeners. I'm Sarah, and today we are going to be talking to Elaine from currently living in Indiana, and she has a story to tell. Her daughter Andi's been missing since August 6th of 2022, and I'm going to give it over to Elaine. So, hi, Elaine.
Hello, Sarah. Appreciate you guys taking the time for letting me share my daughter's story. Okay, so the whole purpose of us living in Indiana was for my girls to live closer to their dad. Texas, and he was here. We were divorced, and I didn't want them to have that, daddy issues stuff.
Right.
So I decided to pick up and leave all my friends and family and move to Evansville so that my girls could be closer to their dad. That was my whole intention. Looking back now, I regret moving back here because that's not how it played out.
Because you're originally from Texas, right? Texas, yeah?
Yes. As the years went by, it's just the girls were always with his mom because he was married. His wife had no kids, or his new wife had no kids, and she wasn't ready for kids. She didn't want kids, and whatever their issue was, anyway, the girls would end up staying with his mom on his days.
Mm-hmm.
But they were good, and I had a good, it was good to have, a babysitter, while I was working, and that, his mom or knew his mom from school and stuff. I had a good, but it just, things just got worse. Like, started with the smoking cigarette, and I tried to put my foot down about that.
And that was your daughter smoking the cigarettes?
Yeah. Andi.
Okay.
I think they started letting her smoke when she was like 14, 15.
Oh, yeah.
And I voiced, and I told them, and they just disregarded it like I was, this is my house, she's here, she's going to do what she wants. If they bought her cigarettes.
Yeah.
What can I do? I was in, I could. Then it started with the weed smoking, getting high. The dad.
Oh, your ex? He was smoking the weed, or he was allowing Andi to smoke it?
But they both were smoking it.
Okay.
And Andi was probably about 14, and maybe 15. I'm gonna say no, because it was before her quinceañera, so it was younger. She was like 13, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then the little sister, was right behind her. And I started losing a battle here. Because when they were with me, I may have let them got away with a little drink here and there, but not anything. And I'm not trying to blame nobody.
Right.
I'm just letting you know where started. Um, and when Amy turned 15, she had UCD, and we were supposed to move to Texas. But they talked Amy into staying here. So she ended up staying here with her dad. And her little time moved back to Texas. But we ended up moving back because I just, I didn't have the babysitter, have anybody to watch my daughter like I did here.
Right.
So it was hard for me to work. So we came back, and that is when, and I didn't know at this time but when we came back, Andi had already, the guy she was dating, got her started on the opiates, like Lortab and shit like that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you can swear. You can swear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that until my medication started, because I have back problems anyway, so I see a back specialist. It's like I said before, I was dumb to the drug world. I didn't know these kids were taking pain pills and, anxiety pills, and I didn't know all this stuff that they were taking. I thought it was just like, I still was stupid thinking they were just doing weed.
Yeah, the painkiller market even here in Canada is pretty bad. So we've got a lot of fentanyl issues.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a lot. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So I started noticing my anxiety pills because I'm gonna tell you something. Dealing with what I've dealt with for years has really, excuse my language, really fucked me up in my head.
Yeah.
With my girls and her dad's side of the family. And I'm talking about the disputing, trying to take me to court, take girls from me when I moved here for him.
Yeah.
All that didn't work out for him though. But still, and I kept moving back and forth, and I finally said, okay, we're just gonna stay here. But anyway, the drug started. When I noticed the drug started, I went to Eric and was like, "Look, we need to have a talk with these girls. I need your help here because they're taking my medication."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think I need to be involved because that's your place. When they're with you, that's your time. You need to take care of that.
So you had no help from your ex?
None.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm not. We're not together. That's your problem. You deal with it." And things they were getting bad. But then, okay, so then he just ended up, his second wife ended up moving to Louisville, and he stayed here. He didn't want to leave the girls, which I'm kind of proud of him. Okay, I see. He was like, he told the girls, I'm not going to worry about no females. I'm going to, concentrate on you guys and building a relationship with you guys, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. And Andy's always had this thing, and it's because when me and Eric and I divorced, Eric didn't put up a fight with them.
Mm-hmm.
So Amy always had this feeling, or for some reason, felt that her daddy didn't love her. Her daddy didn't want her. But I always reassured her that her daddy did love her, because he did put a little effort into, picking him up when we used to meet in Joplin.
Yeah.
He didn't love you, he wouldn't want to have anything to do with you. Well, as she got older, the first wife, didn't like Andi. I don't know, maybe because she looked just like me. I don't know. we always thought that was the reason because she didn't do a thing to this. You know, growing up, she always had to hear from her grandma, "You're just like your mother. You look just like your mother." You know, like that was a bad thing, but that was always the thing that was said to her that was supposed to offend her.
Right.
So anyway, Andi always had that, even before the drugs, because I have little letters that she used to write me. You know, and so anyway, so I thought, okay, this is going to be a good thing. They're single, you know, he's going to spend more time with his daughters. I don't know, 2 weeks later, he got some stripper pregnant. I don't know. Well, then here we go again.
Yep.
You know, staying with grandma, and he's up there with starting a family. But, you know, that was his business. What hurt me was, it hurt Andi that she felt pushed aside. She wasn't getting that attention she wanted from her dad. She wasn't getting that love.
So the whole point of you moving to Indiana after the divorce was to avoid these daddy issues, yet it seemed to happen anyways.
Happen anyway. That's why I told you. You know, I should have stayed.
Yeah.
It happened because Andi had really poor choice of guys.
Yeah.
But it was because she latched on to who gave her that attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was the wrong guys who gave her the attention.
Yeah. Horrible. And I would let her know, I didn't hold my feelings back. I let her know how I felt about him. If I didn't like him, I didn't like him. Period.
Yeah.
But there again, I didn't have the support. I told Dad, I don't like this kid. I really would appreciate it if Andi didn't go over there. No support. Like I said, no support from either the grandparents or him, which is the guy. And he's the one, I'm not going to say he's the one that got her addicted. But he did get her started. And then she got addicted.
Right. So.
I mean, I didn't have that support. And I didn't want her with this guy. Because I knew.
Is this the same guy that she was with, like, just before she disappeared?
No, this is her first
love.
The name that she has tatted on her arm.
Okay. Whoops, I forgot to turn that off. Sorry. Let me just.
But like I said, I'm not for her, and I'm just saying that's how she got started.
Yeah. And what age was she at when she got started with the drugs?
Yeah. When she was 15.
15.
And she stayed here. The Wagners talked her into staying here. And Alex and I moved to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't know until I moved back a few months, I guess, maybe a year. I don't know. I started noticing, I was stupid. I wasn't paying attention to my pain pills and anxiety pills because I didn't, like I told you, I didn't know. I was dumb when it came to this stuff, to these drugs. And it never dawned on me that would do that. So, but anyway, I talk to my girls, even when they start smoking weed, like, you guys said, I know weed is not that bad, but, what are you going to do when you get bored with that high?
Yeah.
I said, that's where it starts. You're going to get bored with this high, and you're going to look for another one. You're going to look for another high. Another one. I'd be like, no, Mommy, no. You just said. I tried.
The thing is that chances are they would have been fine with just the weed if only they weren't, only if Andi wasn't introduced to the other stuff.
And this is where
his influence
new baby comes in, because she's the one that started them on the meth.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until years later.
So is Evansville, Indiana, is it big in the drug scene? Because I'm not sure what the statistics are. Is it really, eh?
Yeah, I mean, there's overdoses
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really bad. There's, we've lost friends, and when I say friends, I mean like my girls, people they grew up with, their little friends. We've lost them to overdose.
Wow.
We actually lost a friend a few years back to overdose.
I don't know if she can hear you.
You'll have to repeat it for me.
If you keep up with the news, there has been a lot of it's getting hot in Evansville because it was an overdose.
Yeah.
Overdose.
We lost a friend a couple years ago to an overdose as well. So we've seen it happen. So we get it. You know.
And Andi, she, and this is what I say, I kind of feel like I failed them. But in 2018, Andi was maybe 22 or something like that, and Alex was 19. Things just got so out of control, and I couldn't get any help. In 2016, it got out of control.
Yeah.
17 and 18 just got so, I was losing myself. So I said, you know what, I live here for you guys so that you can be close to your dad. But you guys are adults now. I'm going to move back home. You guys want to come with me? Come with me. If not, then I got to go. Because
It was just too much for you?
No, it's okay. Alex moved with me to Texas for about 3 months. She decided she wanted to come back, so she came back. Then Andi called me and said she wanted to be here anymore, so I came and got her.
Mm-hmm.
She lived with me for 6 months. Like I said, I wasn't you either work or you go to school.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be out all night and just be laid up in the house all day while I'm working. 22 years old.
Mm.
She was with me for 6 months. Yeah, we did get into it, a few times in Vernon. She was doing good at first, but then she got the wrong crowd. Vernon's a very small town.
Yeah.
Very small town. Doesn't matter, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ended up moving out of my house, or kind of told her she had to leave if she wasn't going to work. She moved in with her boyfriend in Texas. But I knew where she was.
Right.
Like I said, small town, everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew Andi was my daughter because she was just like fitting image of me,
Yep.
So everybody would, as they saw her, that's Elaine's daughter, So I wouldn't worry if they knew. I knew I could ask anybody, have you seen Andi? Yeah, it's a small town.
Yeah.
But I never told her. Never once did I ever tell my girls, no matter what they put me through, no matter what they did, no matter nothing. Never told them. They were never welcomed back to my house.
Right. You just needed to put some rules down and give them responsibility to keep them busy and out of trouble.
Yes.
Well, that's parenting, essentially, right? So, yeah, you're never going to turn your kids away. You just hope that they make better choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, she ended up 6 months later telling my mom, I want to go back to Evans. I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, yeah. Okay. So I brought her back, and I don't know what happened from, I was in 2020 when I brought her back. January 2020, I brought her back, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right.
The thing, Sarah, is when in my opinion, some kids, I'm not going to say all, when you give them money all the time and they're not working and they don't need the money, and they keep asking for money, what are you doing with, the grandparents, the grandma, I'm going to say, didn't hesitate, always giving them money. And I even talked to her about that. I said, you need to stop doing that. I'm trying to show these girls the value of a dollar. If they want to, get a job, get a job. I don't need them thinking everything is going to be handed to them.
I hear you on that. Yep.
And I think was like, okay, but what if she was like, if they're my granddaughters, if they need money, I said, okay, what's going to happen if something happens to you tomorrow? Because I don't do it.
Yeah.
What if something happens to you tomorrow, and who are they going to go to? She was like, well, her response was, well, at least I won't be here to see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what I mean by I had no support. And I was always catching them. So I used to be a JCO, juvenile correctional officer.
Okay.
Worked at the state, worked at the penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always in the mindset of if something didn't sound right or something didn't look right, I'm going to look into it. And I always caught them, Sarah.
Yeah.
Even when they were grandparents, and I would go over there and ask, where are my girls? The show goes up. Like, no, something doesn't sound right. I'll still look for them, and I would catch them all the time.
I always say
and that's another reason why they didn't like being with me, because I was the nosy mom. So what are you doing, Mom? Where are you at? Who is this?
I'm the same way with ours. Like we always, ours is a lot younger, but it's always like, no, I need to know where you are or where you're going, whose friend's house you're going to this week, even if she's in my parents' care, because sometimes she stays with my parents. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I kind of get it. You kind of lose a little bit of control.
I may have crossed the line, but me growing up, Gen X, I don't know what it's like. I don't like this. We didn't have that. I close my room. I deserve my privacy. You can't invade my space. No, we're under my parents' house. They come in anytime they want. We grew up. We didn't have a say in anything. If they want to come and look in our drawers and our closets, we kept our mouth shut.
Oh, we were the same way. I have a question though. What made you think to reach out to us?
I've been reaching out to a lot of people, because I'm not getting the support here. I feel like I'm not getting Andi's story. It's not being recognized. If she's being recognized, because my nieces put up a page from the first time I got coordinates of where she was at. They made a page for her, blew up. I'm kind of doing all the searching. And then, like I said, I'm moving into Twitter. I didn't know anything about Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah.
So here, kind of, you know what? I'm going to try, because supposedly somebody saw her story on Twitter or on Facebook, put it on Twitter, and then Nancy Grace retweeted. And I was like, okay, that's where all the big, platforms are at. So I started one for Andi on Twitter, and I got a lot of response. I don't remember. Lauren, I think, is the first one that...
Oh, Lauren Malloy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She noticed it first, and then she retweeted, and that's where it kind of took off.
Yeah, I think that's where I found your story as well. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Sarah reached out to me, or I reached out to them, I'm not sure.
I don't even remember now.
Don't get me wrong, as small as our audience is, I'm glad to share it.
Yeah, our audience may be small, but we can share it and we can get it out there. So let's go a little further ahead to just before August 6th. So what was going on with Andi just before then?
So Andi, we would talk constantly, FaceTiming, and she told me that, Mommy, I want to get out of this place. I need to get out of this place. I'm tired of waking up every morning feeling sick. I don't want this life anymore, Mom. And if I don't leave Evansville, it's going to swallow me whole.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, I will be there in August. Can you just please hold on till August when I go for your sister's 21st birthday? And this is where I cannot forgive myself. On August 6th, she left with a guy named Rose and left her grandparents' house. That was the last time they saw her or heard from her.
So Alex said that she saw her for all of 10 minutes when she came to the grandparents' house to grab some stuff. Is that correct?
Yes. Andi was kind of being shunned by her family here at this time. Wasn't allowed to come around. She had to be clean. Yeah, like I said before, from what my understanding is, when you're on heroin and fentanyl, you can't really do it on your own.
Right. No, you can't.
So her only choice was you either get clean or you can't come back.
Right.
Or you can't. So she was, how do they say it? Couch surfing, I guess.
Yep.
So she came to her grandparents' house that day, and Alex was a little upset with her because she thought she was going to be able to visit with her sister. Now, Alex, guys, she was in it deep too, but she got caught up with the law.
Oh. Okay.
So at this point, Alex had been clean for some months now because she was on probation and had to get tested and all that stuff. So now Alex is clean. She's seeing everything different. She's, and Andi isn't. So now they're kind of, how do you say it? They're not as close anymore.
They're butting heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alex said she came over to the house and grabbed some clothes, and I said, well, did she seem okay? She's like, yeah, she wasn't high or anything. She just, she came over for a little bit. She said, I thought, she was going to stay longer, but she grabbed some of her clothes and she gave us a hug, like she always does. And this is what they mean by they knew something was wrong, because Andi might stayed away from them 2 or 3 days, but 3, she would come home and visit or whatever, or even phone call.
Yeah. She stayed in contact in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she would even call me and be like, hey, Mommy, just want to let you know I'm doing okay. Working at CVS. Always just keeping me, hey, Mommy, I miss you, love you. We kept in contact.
And she had a job. She was working at CVS at the same time? Yeah?
No, she was working at CVS.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what happened, but the grandparents ended up keeping her out because, like I said, Alex was on probation.
Yeah.
And we were being blamed on Andi and stuff. I don't know what was going on. It was just crazy. So then Andi ended up getting kicked out, even though she was working at CVS. She was trying, you guys.
Yeah.
She was still Anyway, she worked for a place called Securitas or something, working for security.
Yep. Okay, that's what I do.
Yeah, so she was doing that. And, okay, so then things were getting worse with Andi. Andi would tell me things. Worried me, with this whole sex trafficking stuff.
Yeah, because I think I remember you saying on the one podcast that sex trafficking was really bad in Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those topics that scare the hell out of me.
Yeah. So that's why the FBI got involved, because there was a tip that she was possibly sex trafficking, and she was in another county, Kentucky. So then the FBI got involved, and so back to, she went to the Wagners, the grandparents, grabbed some clothes, said her goodbye, love you, not final goodbyes and I love you.
Normal goodbyes, yeah.
Yeah, just normal, And then, like August 12th, I look on Facebook and I see that her little sister posts, has anybody seen my sister? Can anybody call me to see my sister? And I'm like, what's going on? Because nobody called me.
Nobody told you?
No.
Not Alex didn't even call you before that? Nothing?
No, nothing.
Oh, God.
I called Alex and I said, what is going on? She said, Mommy, she said, we haven't heard from Mary. This is August 12th.
So 6 days has already gone by.
Yeah. That's okay. Well, my sister told me the same thing. She came and she left, and it's not like her not to call her grandma or her little sister or to pick up the phone. So after Alex and I, hung up, I called her phone. And somebody picked up, but hung up.
And you didn't hear the voice on the other end?
No, I didn't hear anything. They just picked up and I said hello and then clicked. And when I called right back, my phone was restricted.
Oh.
I got a message saying the phone number's been restricted.
So they blocked your number.
Yeah.
Now,
so
when did the police get involved? When did the police get involved?
On August 12th is when the grandma finally called the cops and reported it, but she was afraid something was wrong.
Okay.
And so I ended up coming to Evansville, I don't know, maybe a week earlier, I don't know, but like this is 2 weeks before I get her to pick her up, sir.
Right.
It's not a coincidence. There's some foul play here.
When it comes to this kind of stuff, I am kind of like you. I don't believe in coincidences. Did anybody know she was planning on going back to Texas with you?
Oh, yeah. She was excited. She was telling, her friends that she was leaving in August. She was, she was coming. I was going to try to find her a place so she could go to get clean.
Because that's what she wanted to get clean, right?
Yes. That's why that was the whole purpose. She said she was tired of hurting. She was tired, she didn't like this life anymore, but it had a hold of her. Yeah. And, Andi, all she wanted was validation. She wanted somebody to tell her, doing good, I'm proud of you, I love you, a hug,
Uh-huh.
Even if she told me, she would call me and be like, Mom, I got my first paycheck today. I ain't used any on drugs, but I bought this, and it was like a shower curtain, a little thing.
Yeah.
I would tell her, I'm proud of you, baby, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud that you didn't use today. Even if it's just one day, I would tell her I was proud of her.
Yeah, and that means a lot.
And that's how she wants it.
Now, she never had a history of running away. Is that correct? No.
That's correct. No.
Okay, so we know that is definitely not an option. Like, she didn't try to go to Texas earlier.
No. My Andi Madison and I were so close that she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, she would have told you.
She would have told me. Because growing up, our thing was always communication. Even if you're in trouble, I may get mad, but we're going to get through it together. And I will back you up 100%.
Uh-huh.
And they know that, and they still know that. And that's why Andi was always open and honest with me about what she was doing, what she was involved in. She even told me, and I did tell authorities, she knew some people.
Now, when the authorities got involved, did they have a reaction negatively to the fact that she had been a user? Or did they...
I wouldn't say they were negative about it. I would just say they were just unconcerned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was because they knew Andi. Andi's been in jail one time, and it was because her and her boyfriend had a fight in front of a sheriff's house.
Oh.
That was the only time she was in jail, that one night. But I don't know if they knew Andi was in the drug scene or not. I don't, But, as time, when they asked, I don't know how law enforcement works, but I guess when they got the information about Andi and was told that she was using, that's when it kind of got, I don't know, they didn't do a news report until I was here. They did a report, I guess, this was in August 20-something, I'm not sure. The news came over, the Wagners didn't want to talk, so I did all the talking. I was the only one. You never hear about the Wagners, Garcia doing this, Garcia doing that, but, it's okay. That's my baby,
Yeah.
But.
So what Matt doesn't know is that your story, we covered Daniel Robinson back in February, and Elaine's story is kind of similar to David's, where she basically moved from Texas back to Evansville to look for her daughter. And you remember that David did the same thing. He moved from South Carolina back to, or over to Arizona to look for Daniel.
Yeah.
And you guys have been there ever since. Like, you've been there since Andi went missing. And I believe David's still in Arizona now, and I think he went missing in 2021. So, yeah, you guys have very parallel stories.
So we're at 40 minutes. I think we should get out there, like, where she was last seen, her description, things like that, before we wrap up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, she got involved with her, like I said, the first boyfriend of hers, you know?
Yep.
She got involved with him. He overdosed while they were sleeping.
Oh.
That fucked her up right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She spiraled after that. And everybody blamed her. Everybody was blaming her. And I knew that she was either involved in some prostituting or, you know, something. I wasn't stupid, you know. Brown hair, long hair, brown eyes, tattoos. My name on the left, Josh's name on the right.
Uh-huh.
She was blasting with Roan. Roan lived in
Newburgh, okay, yeah.
Indiana. And that was it. I mean, that was the last time. Roan was the only one, the last one.
Has he been questioned heavily by the police or anything?
I don't know.
So the police aren't in communication with you of what they have done or where they're at in their investigation?
Not hardly, because you know, I go on Facebook because they're afraid of giving me any information because I've been fighting these people by myself. I go out to these places by myself because I'm not, you know, I'm doing dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Going to Oakland by myself sometimes. I say Oakland City because I got a message from several people saying they saw her in Oakland City. That was the last place. I mean, how do we even know if Ron even took her to Newburgh? If he took her and didn't leave, you know, because his story is he went to sleep at 2 a.m. and she left at 2:30. Well, how are you gonna know? How you know she left at 2:30 if you were asleep?
Exactly. That's suspicious to me.
She didn't have a car, so who did she leave with? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oakland City is my spot because that is what everybody is telling me. I'm getting message after message after message. It's nonstop. Oakland City, Oakland City, Oakland City.
Mm-hmm.
Things that I hear or things that I've been told are things a mother does not want to hear about her daughter. You know, about what might have happened to her.
Yeah. The might-haves are not what you want to hear. You want to hear, okay, where is she? What has she been doing just before? Let us not think that way until we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I got, you know, then Rick White reached out to me, and then Rick reached out to Ronnie, and then there's Haley.
Right.
And myself. We've been doing all the sonarning and, you know, going into the lake. Rick got permission from the Peabody coal mine, you know, pits and stuff. That they gave us permission. Yep, yeah, do what you gotta do. We get permission from landowners. You know, we don't have to go get warrants. We just basically ask, and they're like, yeah, go right ahead. So here we are doing all this searching because I'm told by the cops, you have to find your own search. We don't have the resources.
But Evansville isn't that small, so I don't buy that excuse.
Yeah. I asked about dogs. You have to find your own. You have to go, you know, try to get your own, what do you call them, cadaver dogs, because we don't have the resources.
We should try to hook you up with Trace Sargent. I think she's in Atlanta or something, or in Georgia. I have to look into it. I'll try to look into it and then send you information.
Have you looked up any private detectives?
Matt wanted to know if you looked up any private detectives.
We have, but I can't afford I had one private detective call me, but he was talking about $100 an hour.
Holy, yeah.
There's no way. So I just kind of sat away from that because we did have a GoFundMe for Andi, and I had gotten a good response, and that's what we've used for, like, supplies and stuff to go searching because during the summer.
Yeah.
And then where Andi worked at CVS, her manager donated stuff to us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That you have that support from them.
Water,
Yeah.
We've been doing these searches, and then here I go with I'm gonna go back with Twitter with Nancy Grace, and then I think, dang it, I can't remember who it was. It was CBS or NBC. I don't know. One of the big platforms called Fox. It was Fox News. I did an interview with them. As soon as all that started happening, hey, we need to have a meeting about Andi's case. That's when they started picking up.
Yeah.
Started calling, But now I don't know. I can't do that anymore because I took it too far. I think I was doing too much. And
you found clothes. You were led to this property. You found clothing that you thought might belong to Andi. You picked it up and you took it to the police, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It is me.
Yeah. And then you were able to search the house?
Yes. I had gotten a tip about a house on Breed Street. And so then I got on hold of law enforcement and, pleading with them, please check this out. I was shut down. I said, you know what? I'll do it myself. I told them I will go by myself. It's an abandoned house. And my boyfriend took me to the doctor's office, and we just happened to see that house. I said, you know what? Let's go. It's a boarded up house. So let's just walk around. He said, okay. So he pulled in the back. We got out. I walked around the house, saw a bag of clothes. I opened it, went through it, didn't see anything. So I walked to the side of the house. You could barely fit through the house and fence. I see the pile of clothes. I start going through the clothes, and I noticed some clothes that possibly are Andi's. I didn't just pick them and say, okay, this could be her. No, these are clothes that I've seen her in.
Yeah.
And I like I told you, I know Andi is not the only person in the world that has these type of clothes. But how is it that somebody tells me about this house and I find clothes that could be hers?
Right. Again, there's no such thing as coincidence.
That's right there. Finding those clothes, I gave them to my boyfriend. It just opened up a whole new. So my boyfriend says there's a busted window right here. What do? Crawl in the window. And at first, everything just does not look right. There's plastic and dirt over concrete. It just didn't look right. So I started pulling the plastic, and there's 4 shovels down there. I start shoveling the dirt off the plastic. I pull the plastic, there's concrete, and then I start moving some more dirt, and there's concrete. Of course, that's going to look suspicious to me.
Yeah.
I start crawling through crawl space. There's dirt in there to the top, and then I go through another hole of dirt, I'm calling it. Anyway, it starts getting late, because once I start, Sarah, it's hard for me to stop.
Yeah, I think I would be the same way.
And my boyfriend is yelling at me because it's getting dark, and he would have been down there with me, but couldn't fit through the window because it was too small.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting worried, and I was like, okay, I can't do this to him, So I come out and call my friend Ronnie and Haley and tell them what I was doing. They know how I am, and they're like, Elaine, please be careful. Please be careful. So anyway, the next day I called the lieutenant that's over the detective that's on Andi's case, and I tell him, this is what I found. Monday, and I was like, well, I got to go to court for my daughter Monday. I'll just stop by your office. He's like, okay, just bring them here. He's like, let's come in here, let's see what you got. I opened them, and I said, you know what? Nobody knows that I have these clothes. Why don't we call her grandma? Let's FaceTime her grandma and see if she says anything. She doesn't know I have these. Her dad, nobody knows. Only one person knew, and that was one of her best friends. Because, I couldn't talk to Alex because she was unavailable.
Yeah.
But the one best friend would know because they shared clothes and stuff. So he would know. But anyway, so I called him. I said, I need you to look at these clothes and tell me if you notice any of them. It's not much. Probably maybe 4, 5, maybe 6. And a couple of them were pennies, and I showed him, and he, boom, right off the bat, yeah, that, and that. For sure.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's all I needed.
So the
same thing with the grandma. Nobody knew but that person, and I did the same thing with the grandma. I said, I need you to look at these clothes. The detective was holding, the lieutenant was holding my phone. I said, I'm going to hold these up. You tell me if they look familiar to you. And, she was like, some of them, like a pair of socks that I picked out looked like some socks that her grandma would buy her for Christmas. She didn't recognize them, but she did recognize some shirts that I picked out. She said, yeah, that one, and pajamas.
So you had two people identify the clothing that you found as Andy's.
Yes.
And then the lieutenant said he would send them for DNA testing, and then he didn't, correct?
Correct. They told me, he said, he gave me his word, and he didn't want me to say anything to anybody about. We had an agreement that I wouldn't say anything to anybody about this, and that he would send the clothes to do next. But he did make it clear to me that it was going to take a while, and it was going to be a fast day. I said, I understand. I don't care, and I don't care if it's not going to. If they're ever going to go to court, that it's going to be thrown out because I took them from where I got them.
You just want proof.
Yes. I got a call that he did go to the house, didn't see anything suspicious, and he mentioned somebody's name, and I said, who is that? Well, this person lives on this street. Maybe I was like, this person wasn't even a name to me. Mm-hmm. Why are you bringing this person's name up? I don't care about this person. I'm worried about this house. Well, we're not going to look into that street no more because a person in interest and the house that was in interest was on that street, and they are, they're not involved anymore. Not of interest anymore. I said, so you don't think before this person's house got invaded or, searched or what, you don't think they could have thrown these clothes at these abandoned house because they were of interest? It doesn't take a rocket science to think about that.
Right.
It may not be true, but it's a possibility.
Right.
So I'm told that they're not looking into Reed Street no more, and my clothes are not being sent to forensic.
And they didn't give you a reason as to why?
They said because they don't know where the clothes came from. They don't know who touched them. I touched them. Okay, so why didn't you tell me this when we were in the room and I was showing you the clothes?
Not only that, it's the scientists who can isolate the DNA profiles from you and whomever else may have touched those clothes. Because whoever else touched those clothes, whether you find Andy's DNA or foreign DNA, that should be a suspect right there. Yeah,
or even if the people who were of interest, with their DNA's on this.
Yes, exactly. To me, that's a cop out on the police end. Law enforcement's end.
I'm just like, what else can I do?
So you went back to the house with the owner's permission, and
she caught a hold of me because I did a live about the house, and somebody told her about it, and she got a hold of me. I called her. She said, yeah, she just let me know when, and I think it was like the next day or two. I asked her, can we, like, yeah. She said, give me a time, 5 o'clock, okay. So I'm on Facebook. I need a concrete person, please help me. I need somebody who knows concrete, it looks fresh, if it looks fresh or not, or whatever. And somebody showed up, and we cleaned it, we moved the plastic, we cleaned it, swept it. My boyfriend says that there's nothing, he thinks there was nothing wrong with it because he said, he was explaining it to me, that it was old concrete. The guy that was there said, the same thing, but confided in someone else and said that he still thinks we need to look into it because it still didn't look right.
So now you just need to get somebody who has access to ground penetrating radar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is not a cheap feat to get. So we definitely need to push that GoFundMe. We need to push the GoFundMe so we can get the money for that.
Yeah, because now I'm out of work for 8 weeks because the last place Haley and I went to go search was at a bridge, and it's steep, and there's rocks, and it's slippery. Oh my God, I don't know how many times I fell. I scratched my knees. I fell back at one point. I fell back on some rocks. I mean, I had scratches on my sides from where I slid down. I mean, I was just all beat up. And then I fell again here, and then I didn't feel right. Went to the doctor, find out I had a broken vertebrae, and I can't do nothing now. And that's what it's showing me right now.
Yeah. Wow. Like, that just tells you the dedication you have to finding Andi. You literally broke your back looking for your daughter, and it's I don't even have words other than I'm so sorry that all this stuff has happened.
I haven't been able to have words this whole thing just because I'm sitting here agog.
Yeah, my husband's sitting here. He's the host of the podcast, and he's like, his mind's blown right now.
Well, like if it was.
That's why I put her picture out there. That's why I started Twitter. But please, just share her story, share her pictures, because
we will share all of that.
Yeah, we'll share everything we can.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm going to make the cast mandatory share for this one for sure. And please, if there's any updates, please let us know so that we can update the people who listen to this and want to be able to find out what the hell happened. You can't just give up on a life because you're sick of looking. You know what I mean? Like
the police, yeah.
An addict, she is somebody's daughter.
Exactly.
Even though she wasn't that, and that's how I feel that they're treating it. She's just another addict they don't have to worry about. So they're in no way in a hurry to find her.
Yeah, and a lot of these things are really time sensitive, which doesn't help the matter whatsoever. But yes, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We are going to push and share as much as we can, and stay strong for God's sakes. Just stay strong.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. It's really hard now that I can't do anything. Because now I know, or I feel like nobody's going to be out there looking for her.
Well, I'm sure Haley will still keep looking for you, and we can just, right now, with you, push as much media as possible, because I think that's, at this point, with you being laid up, that's all you can do. And that can go a long way, so don't discount that. You're still doing your best, and you're still looking for her, and we're going to do everything we can to help, and we'll put you in touch with some other podcasters who have a larger reach. I already kind of connected you to Sarah Turney, so I'll message Sarah after I get off this call and get things out. But we'll put up all your socials on our Facebook fan club page and our Twitter account and Instagram, and we'll TikTok it, and we'll get it all out for you.
Can you maybe try to ask somebody how I can go about maybe getting the clothes back?
Yeah.
I think it's close,
you know what? I'm gonna see if I can ask that question to Cheryl McCullum. She's a former CSI and she's head of the Cold Case Research Institute. You've probably heard her on Nancy Grace a few times, and she's got her podcast called Zone 7. I plan on having her on our podcast. We just haven't been able to find a scheduled time. So I'll reach out to her as well. Maybe she can get that answer for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And
I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm sorry it took so long with the story.
No, that's okay, honey.
Actually, good timing.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We weren't going to cut you off at all. So, yeah. No, well, you and I will keep in contact, and you can keep me updated, and I can keep our listeners updated. And if you have big news to share, then we'll get you back on.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
All right, you just take care of yourself.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And to all my listeners out there, have a good one.